So the Friendship Squad pairs people with life challenges together in friendships. So strangers fill out applications about their hobbies and their interests and their life experiences, and then they're matched in friendships. And we've been doing it 2 years to great success. I would say roughly 70 people came in and out of the Friendship Squad. There's a 6-month commitment, and there's a commitment to maintaining your contact. And then there's a check-in with the director, which was me. And we maintain these friendships, and I troubleshoot any challenges, when someone hasn't been calling or picking up their phone or participating, that could be a problem. So we have to know if they're okay, and we check in on each other. But no mailing address information is provided, because we don't want people in crisis we don't want to have the obligation to call 911. There should be no obligation to call 911, which unfortunately, well, in New York City, it could end in a terrible tragedy. But we are there to support each other through the crisis, but most of the time, just in everyday life, just shooting the breeze, having a fun conversation, enjoying friendship. Yeah. Oh, whoops, sorry. Okay, we also do something called Peers in Person, which are gatherings of peers. And peers means people with mental health or addiction challenges. And we meet in parks in the summertime, and we meet in museums in the wintertime, and we go to cafes and we get together. And sometimes we have guests who engage us in movement exercises, or we have like we went to an art gallery one time, and we were shown all throughout the art gallery all the amazing art. We had a tour guide, who is like staff member at the art gallery. He gave us a wonderful tour, all these wonderful things. And we do it every month. It's called PIP, Peers in Person. Now, we also have something for peer workers, right? It's a support group for peer workers. It's called Peer Workers United. And these are the 4 people who run it. These are all my friends and associates who are peer specialists themselves. And they run the group, and it's been going on for over 2 years, like since right before the pandemic, like in 2019, I think it started. And it's doing very well, good attendance. It's virtual, so anyone around the world can attend who is either a peer support worker or interested in peer support work. Okay, we also, I think spirituality is very important for our population, the population of peers. Do you know what peers means? Yeah, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. Peers are people with mental health or addiction challenges. That's right. So the spirituality group is, I feel it's important to have atheists are welcome to this group. If you don't believe in God and you don't believe in anything, you're still welcome to this group, because in my opinion, spirituality is bigger than atheism. It's bigger than God. It's everything. It's the universe. It's chewing gum. It's a dog barking at a young child. And for 90 minutes, we have conversations that are spiritual, and support each other, invite guest speakers, so enjoy a little silence. And meditate a little. We also have, now these are all peer-run projects, peers involved, peers as volunteers, peers as directors, peers as supervisors, peers on the ground. We have the Friendly Visitors Project. And this is, we visit long-term settings where we engage residents in small talk and games. So we have 2 residences right now that we're visiting, and there might be a 3rd on the way. And the first one is connected to a clubhouse called Fountain House. It's a Fountain House-owned residence, and there are people who are peers there. And I'll tell you what peers are. Never mind. You know what peers are by now. So we go to that one, and we also go to a residence for the elderly, which is uptown. So we go to 2 residences, and we visit them each once a month. And Sarah is a part of that as well. Maybe when she reads her poem, or should I say they read their poem?
You can say she.
Okay, when she reads her poem, maybe she could talk about the Friendly Visitors Project too.
Dan, I also go to the City Voices support group with Tishna and Philip and
Oh, good
Michelle.
memory. Good memory. Yes, you can talk about that too. So
Okay.
I'm almost finished, Sarah. I'll give you the mic pretty soon. So we also do social media, right? So social media, the way to connect a little project like ours to the world. So we have a Facebook group with about 980 members or so, under 1,000. And we have a Peer Workers United Facebook group that has about 150 members. Our spirituality Facebook group has about that much too. We have a Twitter with, it dropped from 171 followers to like 50 followers now. And YouTube has jumped from 88 subscribers to like 115. Go YouTube. And TikTok just started, so we just have like 20 followers on TikTok. But TikTok is so much fun, let me tell you. Okay, so if you want to help or volunteer or visit or participate, you don't have to be from New York City. You could just drop me. Oh, that's the wrong phone number, by the way. The right phone number is in the chat, but send me an email because that's the correct email. So I'll put my information in the chat again, and let me just unshare this screen. Okay. Now, let me see, where did I put my information? Oh, here it is. Now this is the correct phone number if you guys are interested in communicating with me. All right, boom chakalaka. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to, Sarah, you still there? There you are. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah. Hey everyone. I can't see everyone, but I'm gonna read a poem. Normally my poems are kind of short. They're little jokes, and I'll tell you one of those short poems is something like dessert first, that's my rule. Dessert last, also cool. Just little joke poems like that. And then one of them is even shorter. It's lice make great pets because you already have them. I think that's funny. But I'm going to read a longer poem about how my grandmother reminded me of E.T. kind of. It's just kind of funny. And so anyway, it's called E.T. poem. My grandmother always did remind me of E.T. the extraterrestrial. Just her face, really, and her grayness. Honestly, I can't say for sure that she wasn't E.T. Memories aren't that reliable. They're kind of slippery in the mind, like E.T. and like my grandmother. When I get to heaven, I won't know what to say at certain occasions. Do I say, grandmother, I missed you? Or E.T., I knew it was you? That doesn't mean I pray to E.T. or to my grandmother. That's another thing that E.T. and my grandmother have in common. I do not pray to either one of them, and I don't scatter Reese's Pieces in the backyard to try to lure them both back to Earth. I don't believe in that, though if I ever saw 2 ETs at one time, I would almost assume that one of them was my grandmother. Something confusing is to watch the movie E.T. at Christmas time, because my grandmother used to visit us on Christmas, so is that really her, or is it just a movie? You can say it's just a movie, but why would I pretend not to know my own grandmother? That's all. Thanks for letting me read it. Thanks, everyone.
Wait, you're not done, Sarah. Tell us about Peer Workers United and tell us about Friendly Visitors.
So Peer Workers, thanks guys. Thanks. Peer Workers United, I actually didn't know the name of the group really, but I thought of it, I don't know. And then I go on Mondays at 6 p.m. and it's really fun. We just talk about things that are interesting to peers. And some of it is kind of directly related, and some of it is more just like interesting topics about like I don't know, recovery and strategies for helping people. Sometimes there's like presentations that people have. And then what was okay, so I just started doing that friendly visitors. It's pretty fun. I think I like did too much at one time. Because it's like it was like 3 new situations. Like I went to one apartment at Wanakee, and that was fun and easy. And the next one was more of a challenge. It was a retirement home. And then there's something. There's a food program, Dan, in Harlem. That seems cool, but that's where I was like, okay, I like the social challenge was too much for me. So I'm just gonna do it every now and then. But anyway, it's pretty fun.
Thank you, Sarah Hurd. That was very nice. All right, so I asked a question at the beginning of this presentation, and let me find it in the chat so I can say it properly. Does anyone in this group of 11 participants have any idea, and I know Sarah does, that you would like to see manifested, your idea made real in the world, that would benefit peers everywhere? Anyone? I'm going to shut my mic off to hear from anyone. I'm sorry, not all at once, good people. The response was too tremendous. I think, oh wait, no, you're driving, so that you need both hands on the wheel. So Sarah, you have an idea for food peers. Why don't you talk about food peers and show us your beautiful face?
Okay, thanks. Food peers is an idea. I just think that like some people with depression, especially, but with other mental illness too, sometimes people feel bad about like not having the energy to cook a lot. And I just thought there could be a peer program, or just peers who care about food and cooking, not necessarily cooking, but just like helping people with choosing what to eat, or groceries, or like easy recipes, or helping people understand like to not feel bad about still needing to learn stuff. I just remember that in my 20s I was depressed about that, and I was always thinking about like even eating frozen food. I felt bad about eating frozen food. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, and if someone had told me, who cares, and convinced me that it doesn't matter, then that would have helped me. Anyway, that's just an idea for food peers.
All right, so how can that food peers idea become manifested? Are you taking any steps to create it?
Well, not officially, but I share food with people at my apartment building. Sometimes if I cook, I'll what do I cook? I can't remember if I cook something.
Eggs.
Oh, I cooked a casserole. Sorry, actually, no, I haven't cooked eggs, but I've cooked Dorito casserole, and I'll see if anyone else wants some. And so sometimes people knock on my door, and I actually think the staff is helping people knock on my door so that I don't waste food, and and it's working. Or if I make a cake, then I'll share it, and I think that helps people some.
All right, Sarah, we'll get back to you. But someone had their hand raised. Let me see who had their hand raised. If you had your hand raised, please unmute yourself.
Hi, that was me. I'm Selena.
Hi, Selena.
I was gonna mention to what was her name? Was it Sarah or
Sarah? Just
the one who just
yeah, that's me, Sarah.
Food, about the food peer stuff. We actually have a health navigation class where I work. I'm a peer partner at a wellness center, And what we do is we help our peers or youth set up like a plan, like a food plan, or even like a budget, like to budget their food or what they can eat. And we basically do research with them, providing support and of what they can eat or basic life skills as well. So it could be like something like in like in a class would be nice just to learn about different things. I don't know if that helps. Sorry.
Selena,
That's
don't
just
be
an
sorry.
idea.
Please don't be sorry, because it sounds like you're involved with something awesome. But
Thank you.
let me ask you, Selena,
Yes.
do you have an idea that you're not already doing that you think could benefit peers everywhere?
That I'm not already doing. I guess it's something that I can share that I am still doing, but I can't think of a new idea. But I think like having people be knowledgeable, like how do I explain this? Be knowledgeable about their mental health, whether it's like trying to find new coping skills for themselves. And it's like a class called RAP. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It stands for like Wellness Recovery Action Plan.
Everyone's heard of RAP.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, it's like a different way of doing it where it's not really by the book, but we kind of have it in a class and we kind of, we get creative with it. Sometimes we do art related things like, oh, this is like a drawing of something that I do that makes me feel good, or things like that. Sorry if I'm having trouble.
Don't be sorry. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, Selena.
Yes.
All right. What would you like to see peers involved with if they're not currently involved with right now?
That's a good question. I guess I'm a real creative person, and I feel like that lets me be more emotional with the peers, because I feel like a lot of the peers that I work with don't like to open themselves up, and I know it's something that they struggle with, which is totally understandable. I think it'd be great to make sure that they have, like, they know, they're aware that they're safe and that they're able to share. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess having them be aware that it's a safe place, like where they're at, they're able to share what they want to, and there's no right or wrong way to, whether they don't want to share or if they just want to listen. And when they're ready, it's okay, if that makes sense.
So what doesn't currently exist, Selena, let me, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, is the type of support group, and I don't know if it's peer run or not, but it's a type of support group where the support group members are there. I think it's in person, right? In person?
Yeah.
Where they all feel really safe, like they're in their mom's womb or something. and they're so safe that they can express all these feelings that they've had just buried deep down in themselves, and those feelings can safely come to the surface in a safe environment and be supported and receive support.
Yeah, because I live in a kind of a rough neighborhood, so a lot of the peers don't feel comfortable sometimes. I mean, they feel safe at the center I work at, but sometimes it's hard to share because of the broken trust that they've had with others. So it's really important, to like try to remind them, like, you're in a safe place, you're not going to be judged. And I think that's a good thing to spread to other peers, so they're aware, like, we don't know what background certain people have come from, whether they lived in a rough neighborhood or not.
Now, would you be the facilitator of this support group?
Probably not. I mean, I might help, but I'm not really good at explaining certain things, but I guess I could be like a co-facilitator.
Okay. And what would the other facilitator need to be doing?
Just, I guess, providing direction, probably.
For the conversation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And do you think you would feel 100% safe to be an example and show how one could in this group release their buried treasure?
Yeah, whether, as long as they're comfortable, yeah.
We're talking about you, Selena. Could you could
me?
you do it? Could you do
I
it?
share?
Yeah, could you share like you want them to share?
Yeah, I would share like just little by little, you know, just starting from like the basics, I guess, but not going into detail to scare them, I guess. Like not throwing so much out, you know, so they're able to like, okay, so I can share a little bit here and a little bit there, if that makes sense, you know? Yeah. So it's not like overwhelming, you know?
Okay. Because my feeling is that if you as a co-facilitator and a peer are not going to share that stuff,
yeah,
then why should they, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So are you serious about making this happen?
Like online? No, I don't know.
Well, you said in person, right?
Well, in person, yeah, from where I work at. If I can make it happen, that'd be great.
Or what do you think? what do you think it'll take?
It would take me. I would have to talk about it with my team.
Have you done that yet?
No.
Okay, I highly recommend putting something on paper.
Yes, and writing it down, setting up like, yeah, making a drawing board.
On the drawing board, you could hand them out, and then you could lead a discussion about why this is a great idea and very important. And it is important, Selena. It really is.
Yeah.
It's important for you too.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Me? Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Yvonne, and you're talking, and I'm thinking, because of course it sounded kind of weird because I don't know anybody in this group, right? And you neither. And so I like it's called City Voices. And I like that you've created your program, you know, like from your creativity. What I wanted to share, because until you started saying, hey, don't talk all at once. And then I said, okay, I need to speak up. I need to speak up for myself and what I've been doing. I've had more than a year doing, I titled it Grandma's Remedies. Why? Because besides thinking of grandmas or anything like that, but how about currently what we feed ourselves sometimes, or just say it, if we're not feeling good, we don't really incorporate too much stuff that's good for our bodies, for our physical bodies. We think that it's separate, our mind, our brain, and our bodies. And some of the foods that feed our bodies and feed our gut, and it all goes everywhere it's supposed to go, but we don't realize how much it is needed for the brain to continue functioning or even just feel better. So that's what I've been doing, because I called, you know, I'm the guinea pig. I see Sarah has a picture of guinea pigs. Well, my nickname, I tell everybody when they're new in my group, I say, okay, I have to just claim the disclosure that, you know, I'm not a professional, I'm not a therapist, but I am a guinea pig because I've done most of these things that I'm talking about, you know? So what I want to add to that is, even if it's just on Zoom, because people have gotten kind of used to, they can do a group and not have to leave their homes, right? Oh man, hi Campro. I'm a member of Campro, yay. Much to be learned by, but what I want to say is helping people learn what they can buy. I have a couple of suggestions already off the top of my head, what they can buy, and it doesn't require a whole lot of anything. They could maybe just open a can, squash it, add some herbs, and voila. And some of these items, some of these foods, sorry, helicopter, some of these foods have more protein than eggs, and certain veggies have such minerals. It's not just green food for your fiber and bloodstream, but it's also good for the brain.
Oh, you don't have to convince us. We know you're right. Can I call you Grandma?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Grandma. Now, is this project of yours, which is about nutrition and eating healthy meals? Is it running now? Is it up and running?
Yeah, you can find it on heypeers.com under the organization called Project Return, PRPSN. Has anybody heard of it? I know Campro has. Anyway.
So that's heypeers.com?
Yes, that's where our groups are on.
Okay, so tell me, like,
so see, like right now, you mentioned nutrition, you mentioned whatever else you mentioned, but for me, it's about supplements, herbs, and certain foods that can help you, right? So, you know, it goes deep. It goes deep.
Do you prepare meals together? Do you educate? Do you educate?
Educate.
Tell me how you educate. Tell me.
Well, I'll pick a subject. Let's say, hey, you guys, today I think I'm going to focus on what can help us, let's say, with the brain, with the functions of the brain. And I don't have to get into details on what parts of the brain, but I'll mention certain supplements, certain veggies, certain foods that help with that. I share sometimes what fruits can help with bringing up your mood. You know, when you're sluggish and you're in a bad mood and you can't figure it out.
All right.
Many
ways.
Now,
anyone in this group can contact you at heypeers.com for information on nutrition and the brain and eating well.
Look at this is the way it goes. You register on Hey Peers. I know it's a little bit of a bothersome thing you got to go through. Maybe you can opt out some of the questions if you don't want to answer, right? And then it'll say, okay, what organization you want to log on. And then the second one is you click on organizations, and then mine is Project Return Peer Support Network. I want to send my email on the chat because I also do phone calls. And just tell me where I met you from. Let me better put my name. Project Return Peer Support Network.
Now, was this your idea, Grandma?
Yeah. Yes.
Congratulations. Very, very nice.
Now,
I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you.
It's been going on. Nobody's hung up on me yet.
Now I'm just curious, like, do you use social media?
No, I'm a little bashful, but just with Hey Peers and Project Return and some of my friends that I'll tell them about my group. First, it was on regular Zoom, and then Project Return decided to connect with Hey Peers for whatever reason. So now all our groups are on heypeers.com through our organization. Again, Project Return Peer Support Network. I'll spell it out in the chat, and that's the organization that I belong to. Let me see. I'm gonna voice it because it'll be quicker for me. Project Return Peer Support Network.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. And, you know, just keep it up. Keep it up. All right. Does anyone else have an idea? Either it's in motion like Grandma's, or it's something that you would like to see happen but hasn't happened yet. You know, it's very interesting.
Just to let you know, I don't mean to interrupt again, but in the chat, I put my name, my email, my phone number, okay? If you ever want to call me, just remind me where I met you or whatever. But that's my email address. And then the next chat that I put the whole name, how it's spelled, Project Return Peer Support Network. We also do the peer support specialist training, and that's how I met up with them. And it's free. It was back in like 5 years ago right now. So that's why maybe that was my way of how I got my group to begin with. I just had to create my own topic that I was going to talk about. So it's very important. You can widespread something like what I'm doing. You know, I don't want everybody taking my name, okay? But it's okay. But, you know, food is the next best thing. And I'm going to share one good one for all of you. When you feel a little out of sorts and you can't get to feel happy, just a little bowl of watermelon can do wonders.
All right, Grandma, thank you very much and keep up the good work. All right, now, since there is not a tremendous outpouring of ideas and participation, I'm going to do what I do in the support groups I run, which is call you out. All right, let's see. Let's go for people who have pictures, and there's some nice pictures here. Oh, how about Kathy Barth? Kathy, are you there? What often happens is that people come to a workshop, but since they don't have their video, you don't know where they're at. All right, so let's see somebody else. How about Sandy Rives? Sandy, are you there?
I am here, yes, hello.
Hi, Sandy. Have you been here since the beginning of the presentation?
I have been.
Wonderful. What are your thoughts?
I'm outside. Well, I was intrigued and just wanted to hear the innovative things that City Voices is doing. And I supervise a peer-run wellness center, so I'm always looking for ideas to connect with our members, and you know, everything from music to yoga to cooking. We did a talent show one time. It was fantastic. So I just like to, hear what other organizations are doing that's innovative.
Sandy, is there something that you have in your heart and mind that you would like to see peers doing?
Well, I definitely would like to see more peer respites. So I'm trying to learn more about peer respites. I know there's only like 6 or 7 in California, and we could definitely use one here on the central coast of California where I'm at. It just seems like the county keeps wanting to funnel money into crisis stabilization units and more beds at the hospitals, and yet the prevention and early intervention programs, you know, they never do increase our income. And there's so much more we could do at such less cost. Yeah.
All right. So is there anything you can do to start your own peer respite?
Well, right now it's just a matter of gathering information on what's, you know, needed to do that. So I know Camfro, is it Yeah, Camfro has a peer respite, like a steering committee group that I'm trying to find out about, that I can become a part of.
So you're in California, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're going to start talking to an organization. What about utilizing the internet? Is there anything on this journey that you're on where the internet can play a role?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Oh, so sorry, Sandy, what town do you live in here in California?
I live in Santa Maria, California. I work in Lompoc.
Yes, I know where that is. You're way up there. Okay, wanted to know. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I've been to Hacienda of Hope through Project Return. Yes. I've been to Shares Peer Respite to visit. And yeah, I'm just intrigued, and I think it's much needed.
Well, tell us how you can use the internet to help start a peer respite.
Just gather more information, find out who the players are that have started them, and make contact with them and find out, you know, what kind of the process, what's the starting, you know, where do you start? Do you start with talking, I wouldn't say talking to the county, like talking to them is like deaf ears, but yeah.
Do you have enough time to be doing all this?
Not really. I work full time, but I can find moments, I guess.
All right. Have you started emailing people and getting numbers and et cetera, et cetera?
Not yet. Like I said, I want to find out about Camfro's group, Peer Respite group. They're having roundtables and discussions about how to, you know, open more. So
Camfro has information about how to start a peer respite?
Sandy.
Yes, yes.
Camfro for sure. Yeah. I'm on their emails for all kinds of stuff, but you should contact them. But you know what I would suggest? I would suggest if you can round up some peers that you know and that wouldn't mind giving up some of their lived experience and going to your town hall, city, what do you call it? Counselors,
city council.
City council, yeah, and tell them, look, this is what, you know, we are part of the group and we are part of the people that live in Santa Maria, and this is what we would like, and we just want to let you know that we're part of the city, and how can you help us? And if they can't help you, at least your voices have been heard. Somebody is listening. Somebody is listening.
Thank you for that. We do have a advocacy group through my organization, Transitions Mental Health. And so it's something I can talk to them about as well, if that's like a advocacy, something they'd like to pick up and kind of run with.
Okay, Grandma, hold on. Let me talk to Sandy, please. Well, let me just say that Grandma's advice to you is she's someone who had an idea and made it happen. So it's worth listening to her. But also, besides your time limitations, are there any other obstacles preventing you from seeing this peer? Is it like a dream of yours to have a peer respite exist in your area?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Okay, so besides the time barrier, are there, because you don't have a lot of it, are there any other barriers that keep you from getting closer to this goal?
Yeah, I would say the other barrier is just, you know, I feel like everything has to be run through my director, you know, just to make sure there's no conflict of interest with anything. So there's always the obstacles of following agency protocols and that kind of thing. And whether it would be on work time, they always say you can't volunteer for anything that you get paid for. So it's difficult sometimes.
So you want your agency to start a peer respite?
Possibly.
Because that sounds to me like the direction you're going. If you need permissions and to find out about legalities and things within your agency, right? So what about not using your agency to start a peer respite, doing it another way?
I'm open to it. Like I said, I need to talk to some people who have done it and find out, like, first step, what's the process?
All right. So we wish you luck with that. Thank you for sharing, Sandy, and I hope those barriers can be overcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, is there anyone who we haven't heard from yet who would like to share? Now, let me see. Jasmine Jones, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Sorry, my computer, my screen is kind of not working, but I'm here.
Have you spoken up yet, Jasmine Jones?
No, I have not.
So have you been here since the beginning of the presentation?
I was a little bit late, but most of it, but I had to step out for a call through the middle, but I've been in and out.
Okay. That's good. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am located in Skokie, Illinois. I work at a mental health facility. I do mobile crisis work, and I'm a peer. So we're a part of the new 590 grant that goes out and kind of assists with what's the crisis in the neighborhood and kind of community outreach stuff.
Are you passionate about helping your peers, like Grandma and let's see, who was that? Sandy.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
All right. Now, do you see something that do you see something that you'd like to see available to peers that's not currently there, that maybe you wish someone would do it?
I wish that there was more wide range training and like assistance and support with like self-care for peers. I think it's talked about a lot, but not really implemented in the work, or my experience in the workplace. Actually, like a lot of managers and admin don't know how to actually support peers, supervise peers. So I guess like more training around that for them to know how to handle us, because I think in my experience, it's been hard for them to kind of understand like our passion and our perspective.
So what's the vision to help peers understand how to care for themselves in a fantastic way?
So the vision, I guess, is like, I don't know if this would be like nationally or what, but like I guess just like a mass training on like ideas on self-care that are more, I mean, especially because we're in a capitalist society, I think a lot of times when I hear about self-care, it's like, oh, buy yourself this, do this, but not everybody has the funds for that. So more like holistic self-care training and stuff like that. And so my vision is a more inclusive self-care training around that.
Would you like your peers to care for themselves just like you care for yourself?
I would like them to care for themselves better than I care for myself. Even better.
Do you see that there's an issue here? If you're not caring for yourself as you wish others to care for themselves, how can you facilitate this?
That's a great question. I guess it does start with me. So just kind of finding ways for myself that I can kind of teach and help guide others would be a start.
So tell me about your vision for self-care for everyone, yourself and everyone.
For myself and everyone, I think, that's a good question. I think more communal spaces for peers is really important. And I think that's what would help me more, is like, even like stuff like this, where I can come together with other peers and feel like I can talk freely about the issues and like things that are going on and like the process of being a peer worker.
So I'm hearing more support and I'm hearing community.
Yes.
And when you say support, do you mean like emotional support, someone to talk to through good times and bad?
I would say, yeah, more emotional support for sure.
So emotional support and community. Tell me what community means.
So for me, community is like more opportunities outside of the workplace, where we're not just focusing on, what we're doing in our job, but like who we are as people. Because I do think our perspective as peers is what we bring to the work, and like our own narratives. And so more communal spaces where we can do things outside of work, whether it be like even volunteering or any kind of like communal circle spaces, I guess. Like I'm a part of an activist group, and we kind of have like community, I don't even know what to call them, like community confessionals. So even stuff like surrounding that, but with other peers that do the work.
What is community confessionals?
It's just kind of where you come and like air your grievances, but in a constructive way. Whether I mean, some people could call it like accountability circles as well, where you can either address somebody in the circle or just like structural issues that you're dealing with in the work, specifically like grassroots like activism work. And then you can kind of get feedback from others about like how to do better, or, you know, or even just a listening ear on what you're going through.
Would it be cool to have confession circles for peer support workers?
I think to an extent, with some boundaries, of course, but I do think it would be cool.
All right, so we just broadened these ideas to peer support professionals and having a confessional type thing where peers can air their grievances about the work they do. Now, you work on an ACT team, is that right?
Mobile crisis team.
Oh, mobile crisis. All right. Are we done, Jasmine?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was it.
All right. Well, now, Jasmine, let me ask you one final question. Are you serious about seeing any of this manifest somehow?
Absolutely.
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, I have already been in talks with some other coworkers about starting a collective that does just this. I think that's kind of why it's in the forefront of my mind. So I think just continuing to, because I am also new to the work, so I think continually to talk to other people who have more experience about how to continue to get that going. But we are in the process of like doing community meetings at least once a month and starting to implement that more and get more membership.
Is there anything that well, okay, so it sounds like you want to have more, you want to have more seniority there, and then you can exercise your organizational muscles. Is that it?
Yeah, well, because like I said, since I'm new to the work, I don't want to just come in and be like, here's my rose-colored glasses ideas that may or may not work. And so I'm really just trying to learn the work and get like a real firm understanding of what has been in place before I bring my, like you said, organizational skills.
Jasmine, have you put your ideas on paper yet?
A few of them.
Which ones?
I would say the ones surrounding like what I view like community work being in this work, like how I would foresee that for myself in my direct community and the people in my neighborhood.
All right. I want to invite you, Jasmine, and everyone else to Peer Workers United, which is a support group for peer workers, where you could talk about these ideas and people can air their grievances, you know, in a safe virtual space with peer specialists who are running the support group. So I'm going to find that link and then I will put it in the chat.
Thank you.
It's pretty fun. It's every other Monday. I go there. It's nice.
Awesome.
And it can be serious too. It's fun and it has its moments of fun and it has its moments of seriousness. So here is the link to that. Okay, now let me see who else I can call out. Kathy Barth, are you back, Kathy? Kathy Barth? Well, maybe she just doesn't want to talk. It's so sad. I'm so sad. Okay, so we've heard, oh, wait, let me scroll to the left. Okay. We heard from everyone except Kathy, I think. Yes? Wait a minute. Did we hear from Selena? Selena, I forgot. Did we talk to you yet?
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, let's see. So we talked to Sarah, Selena, we talked to Jasmine, we talked to Grandma and Sandy. I believe we talked to Sandy as well. And if there's anyone who can hear my voice who hasn't spoken up yet, please share, because this this whole conference is share, isn't it? Share, yes. And you know, share is very important because
the whole conference is share. You got that right. I'm here.
Oh, I thought it was SHER. You know, if you believe in love after life. No, wait. If you believe.
Wait, that's CHER.
Oh, sorry.
But we do believe in love.
Oh, good. So how much time do we have, Mister?
We have we're supposed to be going until 1:30, I believe, but I don't see that we have. Let me check the schedule and see if there's any reason why we need to cut it short. Because I don't believe that. I'm sure that there's nothing scheduled right after. I got my and schedule. I don't know why this is taking forever to load. We are not scheduled until 2, so you can go a little longer if you like.
All right. Now, does anyone have any questions for me? Now relax, good people. We can only take one question at a time.
Yeah, not all at once. You're crowding the guy. Any questions? I can put them in the chat too, Dan.
All right. We will cut it short if there's no participation, okay? Because I don't see the point, unless you guys just like sitting in silence. We do that a lot during our spirituality groups. But silence doesn't really like translate well to a recording.
Not so much.
So I'm okay. Tell you what. Let's give the good people 2 minutes, and if there's no questions, then we'll cut it short. Okay.
Got it. I'll turn it over, and everyone can unmute themselves. So anyone who would like to share may go ahead, and I'll go ahead and mute myself.
I thought of a question, Dan.
Please.
It's actually based on something that I heard in a peer training, and I was just wondering, is there ever like are there ever situations where like people feel like someone's not their peer? You know, like someone might have a peer role, but the person they're talking to or supporting feels like they're not a peer. They're something else. They don't match the person or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Like, not just a matter of someone not understanding them, but someone being too different. So like the only commonality is like a mental health condition or something like that. And then they don't identify with the person.
So give us some background. Where is this taking place and who is talking to who?
I mean, like, what if I went to, like, what if there's a little corporate outreach or something at like a business and I'm like, hey, everyone, does anyone else have depression? Maybe I seem like a peer, but but I'm not a business person, and maybe they kind of like don't relate to me based on that disconnect where they're like, maybe you're, you know, like you have something in common with me, but you're not my peer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so they have the diagnosis in common, right?
Yeah.
But they're not your. But doesn't that make them? Isn't that what peer means? It's people who have diagnoses.
I guess so. I just like heard someone else kind of like suggest that one time, and I really kind of understood what he was saying. You know, how they're like, there could be people who feel like they're interacting with someone who's not truly a peer, that they have some other kind of like dynamic, whether it's, you know, a customer or mentor or persecutor or oppressor, you know, that's what I'm thinking of.
All right, so we're getting into persecutor or oppressor territory. Is that like one person with a diagnosis persecuting another person with a diagnosis?
Yeah, like as if maybe the diagnosis itself or even the condition is not enough to bridge like the distance between the people.
Is one person more advantaged than the other person?
That could be it. I mean, that could be the thing. I just could imagine, I mean, honestly, like, I could just imagine, like, maybe, I don't know, feeling like an outsider in either as receiving peer support or giving peer support.
Do you feel like an outsider, Sarah?
No, I feel fine. I actually feel at home in a lot of situations, but I kind of, someone mentioned that one time and I've thought about it since then and thought, you know, there could be people who like reject peer support and say, you know what, you know nothing about me, you're not one of us or whatever, you know.
Now, is that coming from a quote unquote client to the peer support worker? Like, you're not one of me, you have like power over me, you're a peer support worker and I'm just a peer or whatever? Or is it coming from like two peer worker colleagues that don't seem to connect with each other?
I don't know. I mean, like, there's some people could decide that for whatever reason, but they also could feel that or be scared of it, you know.
All right. Well, does anyone understand the situation as outlined by Sarah and would care to chime in? Sarah, I'm sorry, the response is overwhelming, but they forgot how to unmute themselves. Sometimes, you know, Zoom can be complex. It's mute, unmute, mute, unmute. So Sarah, tell us another poem, please.
Oh, I'll see if I have one. But just like about that scenario, like what if I like went to like a government meeting of another country where I don't even speak the language and I'm like, oh, I'm a peer counselor. I mean, I could see them just saying you're not our peer, you know?
So government officials government officials are telling you, non-peer government officials are telling you, you're not really a peer, you don't really have a mental health challenge?
No, they might say you're not one of us. You know what I mean? Like maybe they would feel like if they did have mental health challenge, maybe they would feel connected. But I could just like, you know, there could be another basis for not feeling like a peer. It's just an idea. Like,
oh, you mean like you're not part of our clique?
Well, not even a clique. It could be an individual where someone doesn't relate. You know, they're like, you're not a peer. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Well, you know, that happens to people a lot when they're like, you go to a party, you start talking to people, there will be people who reject you for whatever reason, who knows what they're thinking, and there'll be people who accept you and engage you in conversation. This is why some people are our friends and some people are our acquaintances and some people don't want anything to do with us.
I was going to add, I know what it's like when you try to explain your role as a peer and they think that you're automatically a therapist when no, it's actually, you just have lived experience. And I feel it's hard for some people to understand that. So I think that's just something I wanted to add, but
Now, Selena, that's very good. That's something that we regularly discuss at Peer Workers United, the support group for peer workers, because the roles aren't always clearly defined. The role of a peer support worker isn't always clearly understood.
Yeah, right.
By the culture of the office. Or or by the business or whatever. So how do you get over that, Selena?
I guess I just try my best to explain, what like in detail or examples of what I do for the clients. And, like I don't have to have a degree in like psychology or something. It's just more of like, I'm trained in a way of how to help these people. And I myself have the experience, whether it's, a mental challenge or, trauma. And, I do my best to just explain it as best I can. And if they just don't, think it's an actual job, and that's kind of on them. I don't feel the need to have to prove myself, I guess. Like there are some people who are understanding, but then there are people who just, aren't.
I hear you, Selena. I hear you, and it sounds like it's personal because it's happening to you.
I guess it's happened recently with a family member, but I'm okay. I'm fine, no worries.
Selena, do you have a good support system?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Do you eat well?
Yeah, yes.
Are you sleeping well?
Not really.
Well, okay, that's something to work on.
Yes.
Does anyone have any helpful sleeping advice for Selena?
Valerian, me, Yvonne, Grandma's Remedies. There's valerian, there's chamomile tea, which is from Mexico. It's in Spanish called manzanilla tea. There's ashwagandha from India. You can also have a piece of real turkey in the evening because that has tryptophan. Come to find out, so do eggs. Sometimes when I've woken up in the middle of the night, can't go back, not sleepy yet to go knock out, I can make myself an egg. Whether I want to have it with bread or not, doesn't matter. But, well, it does matter if you're watching calories, but you can have it, eat it, and I have been able to go to sleep after that, even with an egg. One egg, don't have to make two, because usually when I make eggs, I make two. Who wants to just make one, boring egg? So those are some of the suggestions that I've shared on my group. Can be that. Oh, it can be taking deep breaths, really inhaling to where your stomach is the size of a balloon, more or less, like inflating your lungs, your stomach, and then letting it really very slowly come out, very slowly as you can. That usually automatically brings down the heart rate, allows you to be calm. You could light a candle, seeing the light of a candle. Maybe you have a thought that you went to bed with that was heavy. You want to lighten yourself up with that. You could also maybe tap your breastbone here, because this creates, it helps the lymphatic system release all the toxins. There's other things. Milk. Now, I'm lactose intolerant. I have tried it. Grandma's Remedies, Miss Guinea Pig over here. I've done it with almond milk, just a little bit. 4 ounces. This looks like 4 ounces to me. And I warm that up, drink it, and I'll be sleepy. Sometimes reading and drinking the milk, the almond milk helps, because then you start to doze off. For sure, before you go to bed, do your very best. And it is a practice. Practice will happen that if you continue to think better thoughts at night, you won't have that heaviness of what you didn't do the day before, or what's now climbing. And if you write down those thoughts, you will start to understand maybe those are the real reasons why you're not sleeping or staying asleep. So there, I think I've said a mouthful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Selena.
Selena, I think one big reason we stay up at crazy hours when we need our sleep to go to work in the morning is because our mind is like, blah.
Yes, very true.
Yes. So I think grandma made some good, those are good, nutrition. When your body is occupied with some good food, like sleepy time food, that can help because the body and mind are connected. And also she suggested some ways to calm the mind. Because I find that if I'm having a mind attack and I'm trying to sleep, I will escape to the living room, sit in a chair, and just close my eyes and breathe until I'm calm. And then I'll stay calm. And when you finally get calm, you'll find that you'll start getting tired. And then you'll go back to sleep. Right, Grandma?
That's right. And maybe even finding YouTube with the calmness of water from the beach water or raindrops.
All right, you guys. Mr. Justin, is it time to go? Because he just put something.
Didn't realize I was on mute. Yeah, got it. Didn't realize I was on mute. So, yeah, it looks like sometimes the presenters come in 10 to 15 minutes before for the next segment in order to just get info and have us set up things like surveys. What is wrong with my camera? I have a background here and it is.
Max Headroom, Max Headroom.
Oh my gosh, I remember that from the 80s. Max Headroom, I remember that. He was a soda commercial guy, right? Or a Coke?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it was. I remember. And I remember that at one point somebody did a prank and dressed up as Max Headroom. And there was a whole, like, I guess it was like 15 minutes or something of a national TV station where he took over and was like pranking, saying all this stuff on there, and everyone saw it. It was big news. There was no internet back then, guys. So yeah, that's all the stuff we had to talk about. Just that and rock. I mean, we didn't really have a lot of things. So you guys, you kids, and your fancy, food and water these days, we just used to have rock. So and also soda commercials.
So can I say goodbye to everybody?
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to you. I was just going to say thank you very much, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you say bye to everyone. I have posted things in the chat if you guys can look at them. Also, we'd like for you to answer the survey question. I can tell. Let me go ahead and turn it over now, though. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate everything, and you are on.
Okay, I just want to say goodbye, Grandma.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Selena.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Jasmine.
You gave me more ideas, and thank you everybody for sharing. Yeah, keep on going. We rock. Yes.
Goodbye, Sandy.
Bye. Thank you.
And Kathy. Goodbye, Kathy.
Hasta luego.